My wife told me she needed to explore her options, so I gave her one she didn't expect. Freedom from our marriage.
I stumbled through the door after a grueling 12-hour shift at the auto shop, covered in grease and bone-tired. All I wanted was a cold drink and the sweet sound of silence. But that's not what I got. Instead, my wife was standing in the kitchen, arms crossed, eyes cold. She looked like a judge about to deliver a verdict. Her voice was steady, almost rehearsed. "We need to talk. Man, that phrase should come with a government warning label." She launched into this whole speech about how she was too young when we got married, how she needed to find herself and wanted to explore her options. It was like our 3 years of marriage were just some temporary roadblock on her journey of self-discovery. I just stood there listening. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I didn't fall apart. When she finally finished, all I said was, "Explore all you want." My calmness threw her completely off balance. She was expecting a scene, maybe some tears, probably a lot of pleading. She wasn't expecting me to just accept it. She shot back, "So you just don't care?" And I corrected her. "No, I care. But I don't chase people who are walking away from me." Then I walked over to the dresser and then pulled out a manila envelope I'd had ready for weeks. I laid it on the bed. Divorce papers. Then I tossed an empty duffel bag next to them. "If you want freedom, take it. But take it as a single woman." She left that night. There was no dramatic goodbye, no tearful last look. Just the soft click of the front door shutting and a heavy silence that settled over the house like a layer of dust. The first thing I did was text my lawyer. "She's out. Move forward." The first few days were quiet, strangely peaceful even. Then her messages started coming in. Little check-ins, just soft pokes to see if I was breaking down yet. I left every single one of them on read. I decided to go back to being the man I was before I met her, the guy who had friends, the guy who hit the gym, the guy who didn't feel the need to apologize for simply existing. Friday nights at O'Malley's with my buddies became a regular thing again. I started laughing more. The familiar clang of weights at the gym felt like coming home. That constant knot in my stomach every time my phone buzzed finally loosened and went away. Around that time, Jessica, the receptionist at the fitness center who also worked part-time at the auto shop, started saying hi more often. Our conversations got longer, her smiles got warmer. It was easy, natural. There were no games, no expectations. Meanwhile, my ex was documenting her brand new life all over social media. A constant stream of clubs, parties, and a new guy on her arm every weekend. It was a highlight reel perfectly crafted to scream, "I'm so much happier without you." But even through the glossy filters and forced smiles, I could see it. I could see the emptiness in her eyes. While she was spiraling through her so-called self-discovery, I was genuinely moving on. 6 months flew by. I got a promotion at work. I lost the weight I'd put on. I finally fixed up all the little things around the house that she never cared about. And I started seeing Jessica. There was no drama, no manipulation. It was just peaceful and honest. That's when my ex's messages started to change. The casual check-ins turned into long, emotional paragraphs. "We need to talk. I think we rushed things. I still love you." I ignored them all. But eventually, I knew I had to face it one last time. Just to rip the Band-Aid off for good, I agreed to meet her. She showed up early, dressed in the version of herself she thought I still wanted. Polished, pretty, perfectly put together. Her eyes scanned the clean house, the new curtains I'd hung, and then they landed on the photo of Jessica and me at a baseball game. That's when I saw her composure start to crack. Her voice trembled as she confessed everything. The regret, the loneliness, the gnawing emptiness. She'd gone out, explored her options, and lived the freedom she was so desperate for. And every single one of those options just led her back to the painful truth. I was the one who had treated her the best. She asked for another chance. She begged. I looked at her and calmly said, "No." Tears streamed down her face. "You're choosing her over me?" she cried. "No," I said, my voice firm. "I'm choosing myself over you. Jessica just happens to fit into the life I built for myself after you abandoned it." Those words hit her like a physical blow. She left in tears, but this time she didn't just disappear. Soon she started showing up. First at my job, then at the gym. Then at O'Malley's, the bar where I hung out with my friends, she was always just there, lurking in the background, watching, waiting for any little crack she could use to wedge herself back into my life. Her behavior got more and more desperate. Fake social media accounts started messaging me. She'd accidentally show up wherever I was. It got to the point where I had no choice. I filed for a restraining order. She violated it. Twice. The third time, the police arrested her. That night, Jessica came over and cooked pasta from scratch. It was one of those quiet, genuine moments that my ex never would have understood. She didn't pry or push. She just looked at me and asked one simple question, "You okay?" And I was. I was better than okay, but I had a sinking feeling this story wasn't over. Because people who feel like they're losing control have a tendency to get very, very desperate. And I was about to find out just how desperate she could be.